Hello girls, I'm Dr. Kiran Deshwal, Assistant Professor English. Today I will teach you under the banyan tree. This is the last video lecture of our story. This story has been composed by great Indian writer R.K. Narayan. Let me sum up in brief before starting what I have taught you in our last video lectures which I have shared on our WhatsApp group and YouTube link. In this story, the writer describes a village, Somal, and in this village, we have a storyteller who is the central character of our story. He tells stories to the villagers under the banyan tree, and he was doing so for many years. When he becomes old, he is unable to tell the stories. So, when he calls people, some of them pay attention and some of them ignores it. So, it hurts the old man. For all these years, he was having he was having respected by all these villagers. Now he is disappointed, so finally he tries to give a final lesson to the villagers, and how he delivers it, how beautifully he delivers it, we will see that in this video lecture. So let us start. When all the villagers left, his friend Mari stops there, and when Nambi looks at Mari, he asks him, Mari, why haven't you also gone? Then Mari apologizes for the rest. They didn't want to tire you, so they have gone away. Mari knows that Nambi is very moody, so he tries to console him by saying that the villagers didn't want to tire Nambi, that's why they left. Nambi got up. You are right. Tomorrow I will make it up. See, the storyteller is very determined. He is a man of willpower. He don't want to give up. You are right. Tomorrow I will make it up. He believes in tomorrow, that tomorrow everything will be okay. So he is an optimist. He is hopeful, and he hopes that everything will be fine. Ace. What is my ace? When he thinks that perhaps I have become old, but how much old I am? He confuses on this question. He thinks how old I am. It has come on suddenly. He pointed at his head and said, This says, old fool, don't think I shall be your servant anymore. Till old days, we command our brain and it acts as we want it to be. But in old age, our limbs can't act on our commands quickly. So he says that, old fool, my brain is an old fool who thinks that I shall be your servant anymore. You will be my servant hereafter. So Nami says that my mind has become disobedient and treacherous. It is frauding with me. It is betraying me. He lit the lamp in the niche next day. He is hopeful that next day he will make it up. The crowd assembled under the banyan faithfully, as it was customary or it was usual, and villagers were habitual of it. They gathered under the banyan tree again on the indication of that mud lamp. Nambi had spent the whole day in meditation. He was afraid that today I will do my best. Today there will be no fault. So he spends his whole day in meditation of Goddess Shakti. He had been fervently praying to the goddess not to desert him. He prays to goddess that, please goddess, don't betray with me. He began this story. So when the villagers came, he starts telling them the story. He went on for an hour without a stop. He starts the story and narrates it for 1 hour. He felt greatly relieved. He thinks that, yes, I have made it. Now I'm okay. So much so that he interrupted his narration to remarks. So he says that, oh friends, the mother is always kind. I believe in Goddess Shakti and she is very kind. I was seized with a foolish fear. Nambi was afraid for some time. A fear seized him that will he be able to speak like this again and continue this story. But what happens? In a few minutes, he felt dried up. His throat choked like before. He struggled hard to speak, and what happened? He is unable to speak properly again. He stammered, his voice stammers. There followed a pause lasting an hour, and he remained silent for 1 hour. The audience rose without a word and went home. Nothing was left to stay there. That's why they left. The old man sat on the stone, brooding till the cock crew. Nami is so serious. He is so thoughtful that he thinks till the morning that what has happened with my voice, what has happened with me. I have this story in my brain. Why it is so that I am unable to narrate it to my audience? The villagers have come to listen to me, and I felt silent. Why? I can't blame them for it. So he realized that it's not their fault, it's my fault. So I should not blame them for this, because this is my fault. He muttered to himself. He says to himself, mutter, say. He says to himself, can they sit down here and mope all night? I'm sitting here for the whole night thinking about it. Can they do so? No. They want the story. Without a story, they can't sit here, they can't wait. 2 days later, he gave another installment of the story, and that too lasted only a few minutes. 2 days later, he again starts to narrate the story, but again he fails in a few minutes. The gathering dwindled. As it was customary, the people, when they don't have the story to listen to, they dwindled, they dispersed, they went to their houses. Fewer persons began to take notice of the lamp. Now, when Nambi fails again and again, people start to ignoring him. They ignore when the lamp is there in the niche. Even these came only out of a sense of duty, because they feel a sense of duty for towards Nambi. That's why they come. Nambi realized that there was no use in prolonging this struggle. So Nambi realizes that I should not struggle because the villagers are not with me. He brought the story to a speedy and premature end. He is the doer of the action. He is the storyteller here. He is the producer of the story. So it is he who creates it, so he can give it an end as he wants it to be. So he gives it a speedy, quick, and premature end. He knew what was happening. He was harrowed by the thoughts of his failure. He knew he knows that he has become old, and he is afraid of the thoughts of his failure. He don't want to be called a failure. I should have been happier if I had dropped dead years ago. This negative thought comes to his mind. He said to himself thus. Then he addresses the goddess, Mother, why have you struck me dumb? Why have you taken away my voice? He shut himself up in the sanctum, hardly ate any food. He is so desperate, he is so sad, he is so helpless, and spent the greater part of the day sitting motionless in meditation. He spends his whole day in meditation. The next moon peeped over the hillock. 1 month passes, the next month comes. When Nambi starts narrating his stories, Nambi lit the lamp in the niche. The villagers, as they returned home, saw the lamp, but only a handful turned up at night, because most of them think that again he will fail. So Nambi asked them, where are the others? The old man asked. Let us wait. He waited. The moon came up. His handful of audience waited patiently. When few people came, Nambi asked them to wait for the others, but none come. And then the old man said, I won't tell this story today, nor tomorrow, unless the whole village comes here. He wants to give his last message. That's why he wants the whole village to be there. I insist upon it. It is a mighty story. Everyone must hear it. Next day he went up and down the village street shouting, I have a most wonderful tale to tell tonight. Come one and all, don't miss. He personally invites the villagers to hear his last story. This personal appeal had a great effect as people were faithful towards him. They comes at night a large crowd gathered under the banyan tree. As a result, so many people came there. They were happy that the storyteller had regained his powers. They were happy that again we will have the chance to hear the stories. Nambi came out of the temple when everyone had settled and said, now Nambi gives the lesson of life here, the philosophy of life here. He says that it is the mother, it is goddess Sakti who gives the gift, who endowed gift upon us, and it is she who takes away the gifts whenever she wants to. Nambi is a daughter, Nambi is a servant, Nambi has no power. He speaks when the mother has anything to say. He is a devotee of Goddess Sakti. So, whenever the mother wants to say something, she says through the mouth of Nambi. So Nambi is the mouthpiece of the mother of the goddess. He is struck dumb when she has nothing to say. Now, when I am dumb, you can and you should understand that mother doesn't want to say anything. But what is the use of the jasmine when it has lost its scent? It is a very beautiful comparison. While speaking, Nambi was a jasmine, as now he has lost his voice, he is a jasmine without its scent, and without scent, jasmine is of no use. What is the lamp for when all the oil is gone? So here Nambi compares himself with two things, jasmine with and without perfume or fragrance, and lamp with and without oil. Goddess be thanked. I am thankful to the goddess for this gift. These are my last word on this earth, and this is my greatest story. So he here recites the philosophy of life, then that one person or thing is respected until or unless it has its quality. As soon as it loses its quality, it also loses its importance, and this is very true. He rose and went into the sanctum, and saying this, Nambi sleeps. His audience hardly understood what he meant because they were illiterate villagers. They saw there they stay there till they become weary, and then some of them got up and stepped into the sanctum. There the storyteller sat with eyes shut. He was in meditation again. Aren't you going to tell us a story? They asked. He opened his eyes, looked at them, and shook his head. He indicated by gesture that he has spoken his last word. People were unable to understand what Nabi had said to them, but it was his philosophical message. But people were unable to get it, so they asked Nami whether you will tell us a story or not. Then he indicates them by gesture that I have told you the story. These were my last words. After that, he remained silent for the whole of his life. Whenever he felt hungry, he walked into any cottage and silently sat down for food and walked away, and people were faithful towards him, so they offered him food even after when he loses his voice, and walked away the moment he had eaten. He restricts himself to the temple only. He avoids the social contact with people. He never engaged in conversation again. Beyond this, he had hardly anything to demand of his fellow beings. The rest of his life he lived for a few more years was one great consummate silence. So he took a willing silence for the whole of his life. Thanks for watching.